Welcome to the Young Old Heads podcast. My name is Ben Thompson.
It's your boy Jay Fair.
And it's your boy Uncle Jerry.
Today we got a special mock draft, 2018 special Young Old Heads mock draft tradition. It's our second annual one, so we're gonna get it kick started. We're gonna run through the first round and do a couple picks in the second round, just so everyone has 13 picks each. Your boy got blessed with the Twitter poll, so I have the first overall pick. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all. You know that's my Twitter clout. Anyway, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Opening up the 2018 NFL Young Old Heads mock draft, the Cleveland Browns are now on the clock. The pick is in. The Cleveland Browns select Benjamin Thompson. Oh my God. Best prospect in the class. Crazy nose tackle. What, 20 sacks his senior year? Ain't that right, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm selecting Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA. I think he's the best quarterback in the draft. I think he has the least amount of flaws on anyone. High ceiling and a high floor. I think at worst he could be an average quarterback, but I think at best he could really contend to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in a short amount of time. So with the first pick, the Cleveland Browns select Josh Rosen, and now the New York Giants are on the clock.
Okay, here we go. I got the second pick. If I'm the GM in the New York Giants, people are looking at quarterbacks. Eli's replacement. I mean, this is a good class to pick, but you cannot pass up a talent like Saquon Barkley. And it is a reach for a running back, but hey, that's just the risk you're gonna have to take. So with the second pick, the New York New York Giants select Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. So I guess I got the third pick from the Twitter poll. I think this was the only way so that we wouldn't mess things up. So I have the New York Jets, and the Jets could go a lot of different directions here. Bradley Chubb comes to mind, but I am going to throw a monkey in everybody's draft boards, and I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield with the third pick. I know the Jets have signed two quarterbacks in the offseason. Josh McCown, or I should say 1.5. Josh McCown doesn't that count in my mind. Teddy Bridgewater is there, but I think they get their quarterback of the future in Baker Mayfield, and don't be surprised if Baker sees the field before the end of the year.
All right.
And I'll turn around and draft with the second of the Cleveland Browns' top 4 picks. We don't really see how they're gonna mess this up, but they're the Cleveland Browns, so somehow they might find a way to mess this up, having 2 picks in the top 5. And but I'm gonna go with the can't miss guy, and Bradley Chubb out of NC State.
Ooh, okay. What makes you want to put old Chubb on the Browns?
Opposite of Myles Garrett, I think he's the best guy here. I could have been convinced that it was Minkah Fitzpatrick, but 4 is a little high in the defensive backfield, especially if you're going to play him as a true safety in that range. So I go with the next guy that I think there's a couple of can't miss guys here. Saquon Barkley is there at 2 and gone. If I were picking first, I would have drafted Saquon Barkley first because I think the quarterbacks are still here at 4. But I'm gonna go with Bradley Chubb as a can't miss guy on the defensive side of the ball.
All right. Well, with the 5th pick, the Denver Broncos will be on the clock, and I think the Broncos would have liked to have either Mayfield or Rosen fall in their lap, and it doesn't happen in this scenario. Rosen's gone, Mayfield's gone, and Chubb's out of the window, so they're not going to have anyone to pair with Von Miller. I think it's a little early to get Harold Landry. So with the 5th pick, the Denver Broncos are going to take a curveball. They like their tall, big, athletic quarterbacks, and they're going to draft Josh Allen out of Wyoming.
Wow.
Wow.
Sam Darnold on the board.
Yeah,
Sam
I don't think they should take
Right.
Allen, but if I'm judging how they drafted quarterbacks, Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, they like these big guys that they think that they can mold, and I think they keep doing it. And they draft Josh Allen with the 5th pick.
That is working out perfectly.
I'm guessing you want another quarterback, James.
You know, coming out to the 6th pick, Indianapolis Colts. This one I feel like is a no-brainer. You got to always get your franchise quarterback, Andrew Luck. So you got to protect him. I think you go as one of the best linemen in this draft out of Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson.
Ooh.
I think you add him to the offensive line. You need to beef it up, protect Andrew Luck, keep him healthy. So I feel like he does go a little bit high, but it's definitely what they need.
I like that kid.
All right, moving on to the next pick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, the Bucks. They got a lot of holes on that team. They got a nice. They got a lot of holes, Jerry, like holes. HOL, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They got a lot of openings on the roster. I'll say that. Anyway, Jameis Winston, he's a great quarterback, and so they're obviously not looking in that market. They would have liked Chubb to fall down, pair up with Noah Spence, but with Chubb not there, they kind of just have their selection of the next guy that they just want to plug in that defense. And I really think at this point they're going to go secondary because honestly, Vernon Hargreaves hasn't really worked out too well, so I think they get a piece that they could fit all over the board, and they draft Minkah Fitzpatrick out of Alabama.
Minkah in front of the corner out of Ohio State there, Ben?
Yeah, I think that corner's a little small. They got a little bigger size that they can move around, and especially in today's NFL, so they go for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Okay. I can see it. The Chicago Bears. I don't know why I have this pick because I really want the Bears to be as worse as possible. Being a Green Bay Packers fan, but I think they've had a couple guys kind of fall in their lap here. I think it's a little early to go for any of those wide receiver threats. Quentin Nelson is the best guard in the draft. He's gone. I think the tackle, this is a little high for him, but you have both of the inside linebackers there. I would not be surprised if they went with either Edmonds or Roquan Smith, but I'm going to make Quan a happy guy, and I'm going to say Derwin James, the safety out of Florida State here at 8 for the Bears.
Not a bad pick.
It's a strong pick right there. All right, Derwin off the board.
Yeah, Derwin is off the board.
All right, up next is the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, I feel like in this position, they're going to be the best player available. And at this point, I don't see an offensive player that can be a playmaker for them. So I think they focus on the side of the ball. And I think it's two guys they're going to look at both at linebacker. Because you do have one idiot already on the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm going to go to the linebacker out of Georgia, Roquan Smith. I feel like this dude is the best linebacker in the draft period. Sideline to sideline. He can definitely make a difference. He does go a little high, but you can't miss this talent. If he stays out of trouble, he can be what Reuben Foster was supposed to be. So
I like that pick. They've had a lot of trouble with linebackers recently. They had Patrick Willis. He had his injuries, and they drafted Chris Borland. He had a great rookie year, but he retired after one season. Then you get Reuben Foster, another great rookie year, but he's a jackass off the field. So, but yeah, I think Roquan Smith could definitely change the culture there.
All right, staying on the West Coast, we're moving to Oakland, and the Raiders. They have a few holes. There are a couple of different directions that the Raiders could go here. I know one of the popular picks is that they get a run on linebackers here, but I'm gonna say they're gonna continue to solidify offensive line here, and I am going to go with the big tackle out of Notre Dame. This might be a little early for him, but I'm going to go with Mike McGlinchey at 10. I'm a little biased to the offensive line, but I think that the teams that have won and have been great show that you win up front on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go with Mike McGlinchey there at 10.
All right, that's a bold pick. That's a bold pick for him. Well, moving on, outside of the top 10 in the draft, we got the Miami Dolphins with the 11th overall pick. And for the Dolphins, they're in a tricky situation because they got a quarterback in Tannehill, but he's always hurt. And when he's on the field, he gives you flashes of good glimpses, but he's never really all the way there. And I think they may have gotten their fill of him, and they go for their future. And I think this is when old Sam Darnold comes off the clock if he's still there. I don't think the Dolphins pass up on that opportunity to potentially get their franchise quarterback.
I think this is a dream scenario for the Dolphins if Sam Darnold is here. This is a dream scenario for them.
All right, moving on to the Bills.
So coming up for the Bills, I think at this position, everyone's thinking a quarterback for them.
Mm-hmm.
But once the real draft comes Thursday, they're going to have to move up, trade a couple picks to be in the quarterback position. But let's make it a little interesting. I don't think they go quarterback in this position. Have a defensive-minded head coach. And I believe they're going to take a very big risk on upside. The linebacker out of Virginia Tech, Tremaine Edmonds. I think this is a young guy who have a very long NFL career. If I'm not mistaken, he's like 20, 21.
He's 19. He turns 20 next week.
This kid is 19.
Yeah.
He's going to have a long career. So I feel like they take a chance on him this high. I feel like they'll draft the quarterback in the later rounds to compete with A.J. McCarron, which is hilarious to me. But I'm going to go with the linebacker of Virginia Tech.
All right. Well, moving on to the Skins pick. There's a lot of Skins fans out there where we're from. I know they love a running back here, maybe Darian Geis, but I think it's a little early and there's a lot of good guys on that board. And since the trade, they got rid of their good corner earlier, so I think they go after one of the best corners left in the draft still, and they go for Jair Alexander out of Louisville right here. Man down that spot and really try and solidify that secondary.
Jair before Denzel Ward?
Yeah.
I think he's better than Ward.
Okay. That's I think they're 1A, 1B. I still have Ward before him, but Jair, I could see Jair being this early. Vita Vea out of Washington is a kind of a sexy pick for the Redskins here too. That brings me to the greatest franchise in the history of the NFL, and that team from Titletown and Lambeau. Here, 14. This would actually be kind of a dream for me as a Packers fan because I don't necessarily want a cornerback, but if Denzel Ward, who is a guy that some people have going as high as 6 or 7, is here, I don't think I would be as upset if we drafted him. Some people had us drafting Josh Jackson. I do not want to draft Josh Jackson at 14, the corner out of Iowa. But I could also see us going with the edge guy in Marcus Davenport. I think he has a huge upside, big guy to play on that outside edge, and Clay Matthews isn't getting any younger. So I'm going to go with Marcus Davenport out of UTEP, I'm sorry, and with the 14th pick there.
Okay, nice big end, prototypical type guy.
Nice. All right. So coming up next, the Arizona Cardinals. This pick is another tricky one. Sam Bradford in the off season, so they don't give a damn about quarterbacks.
They better. That boy ain't got no knees.
Yeah. Actually, I think this would be a dream for the Cardinals as well, because there's one guy that if he's there, I think the Cardinals should pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, I think I know that guy Jerry's talking about, but I don't think they will.
I can see that.
But I'm gonna think they beef up the defensive line here, and I'm not gonna butcher his name, but the big guy out of the Washington. I'm gonna let Jerry say it.
Vita Vea.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I feel like he goes to Arizona to beef up the defensive line, only because defensive mind head coach now. You got to stop the run, get some pressure on the quarterback. I feel like he's more of a run stopper. But if it's the corner here, I think you add another number 2 on the other side, Patrick Peterson. He can't do it all, and you don't want him to get frustrated. So, but best available defensive player, I think the Cardinals will take.
Okay. That brings me to the Baltimore Ravens, and this is a very easy pick, I believe, for them. And this isn't, I don't think, too much of a reach, but I'm going to go with the wide receiver from Alabama and Calvin Ridley right here in the middle of the first round.
I like that pick. They've had a struggle actually drafting receivers recently.
Yeah, they have struggled. So I think they're going to try one more time at least.
All right. Puts the Chargers on the clock. Gus Bradley has done some great things with that defense. They got Bosa, they got Melvin Ingram, and they also have a pretty good secondary, especially when Jason Barrett is healthy. So I think they leave that side of the ball alone. They could be tempted to draft Phillip Rivers' replacement, but I think they wait out on that for another year, maybe take a quarterback in the second or third round. But I think they need to protect Phillip Rivers on that offensive line, and they look for a guy in Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia. He's a versatile guy. He could play guard. He could play tackle, and I really think they need him out there for pass blocking and then also open some lanes for Melvin Gordon there. So they take Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia.
Isaiah Wynn's stock has been exploding, rightfully so. That kid's a gamer. All right, so that's going to put the Seattle Seahawks on the clock. I think this is the best case scenario for them, and I'll make this quick because a lot of people have him as the best corner on the board. So if he fell all the way to 18, I think the Seahawks would make it pretty quick. They probably would receive quite a few calls for people trying to get back into the first round or people moving up as well if he fell this far. But I'm going to go with the kid from Ohio State, Denzel Ward.
That's a good pick. Denzel Ward. I think that's Sherm's replacement.
Yeah, I think it just fits right in. I think he plays a little bit different than Richard Sherman. Obviously, you can't replicate what he could do and the football IQ that he has. But I think Denzel Ward is a guy he's a plug and play guy from day one. I think you plug him right in and he's going to play.
All right. So next up is the best fan base. Psych, the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to my boy Nault. You know what I'm saying? This is a no-brainer here, and it's going to be a reach. But once you get rid of Dez Bryant, Ben's favorite receiver of all time,
yeah,
you got to replace him. And I feel like they go with the kid that's under the radar, Courtland Sutton, out of SMU. I think he does have a potential. There's not a lot of film of him playing against great competition, but I feel like you bring him into Dallas, a kid with low ego. He can get with Dak. Hopefully, Dak gets better at throwing the ball down the field. You get like chemistry going with this kid, but I feel like he's the cheaper option of Dez, and I think he'll give him better production this year. So, 19th pick, they'll take Courtland Sutton.
Okay, it's a solid pick. All right, well, Detroit Lions, they got a 20th pick. I think the Lions, they're an interesting franchise. They don't have it's not that roster isn't too bad. They got a couple defensive players, nice corner Slay, a couple edge rushers, and of course you got Stafford and those receivers. So I think they could kind of pick a guy that they've been looking to get for a while now. They always have these little scat backs and these little receiving guys, but I think they finally get the guy that they believe can do it all. They take that running back out of LSU, Darius Geis, at 20th pick, and they have their bell cow for the future finally.
Can we keep him out of the NFC North, please?
Please. Can do.
You know who up next? Who they? You know, my Bengals up next. You know, we traded back, got some protection for a weak ass Andy Dalton. Um, but you know, there's been some news lately about who Cincinnati might pick with the 21st pick. This is the year we would normally pick a DB. I like the kid. If we do pick a DB, I like Ronnie Harrison out of Alabama. I also like Mike Hughes at this point. I like Josh Jackson out of Iowa. But I feel like the front office is gonna light a fire under Andy Dalton, and with the 21st pick, Lamar Jackson. As we're looking towards the future, we're showing AJ Green, please don't leave us when your contract is up. We want you to stay. Hopefully, we'll play John Ross more than 9 plays next season if Marvin Lewis put his ego aside. But the 21st pick, the Cincinnati Bengals will select Lamar Jackson.
Don't you think Lamar Jackson should go back home to Florida? Like,
no.
That's no way. There's no way that's happening.
Bortles you trust?
Yeah, no way that's happening. But carry on.
Just sign an extension, bro.
I actually had him pegged there to go at 22 to the Bills, which is why I think the Bills better do the smart thing. And if there is a quarterback there at 12, they better draft him. No matter who if they think their guy is there at 12, they better draft him because I don't think Lamar is going to make it back to 22 because somebody's going to trade back in. So that puts the Bills in a precarious situation because honestly, the way Fu has played it out, they've gotten their linebacker, maybe go offensive line here. I know their center just got hurt, so we're going to go with the kid from Iowa and fill that hole there at center for them. He can play center and guard, and his first name is James. I gotta get his last name. My brain is fleeting me right now.
James Daniels, maybe?
Yes.
James Daniels.
James Daniels. Thank you, Ben.
No problem. All right. The Patriots are now on the clock. This is what they got. Okay. Anyway, they got this selection from the Rams, and the trade made this offseason. I think they were really holding out, hoping Lamar Jackson fell to them. In the real draft, they might use both those first-round picks to trade up and snag a guy. But in this mock draft, we're not doing trades. So they wait around. Their potential future quarterback is gone. And I think after last year, they realized they got to be able to stop somebody on defense. You had Nick Foles come out of nowhere, just light them up, which is, as a defensive coordinator, a defensive coach like Bill Belichick, that's embarrassing. So I think they start retooling that defense. I think they're tempted to take the linebacker out of Alabama and Rashaan Evans, but I think they hold out and they need more of a pass rush. Ever since Chandler Jones went, they haven't been able to get that quarterback the way they want to. And they take Harold Landry out of Boston College, a guy that a lot of people think is the best pure pass rusher in this draft. And I think with Belichick coaching him, he can make an immediate impact on that defense.
Okay. Good pick. I'm not as high on Harold as a lot of people are, but I see why one could be as high on him as that. I am going to go moving 24. The Carolina Panthers are now on the clock, and I think we continue a run on defensive players. Wide receiver could be a possibility in this range, but I think they're going with Sutton already off the board. Ridley's already off the board. I think everybody else could probably stick around to the early part of the second round. So I'm going to go with the corner from Iowa, Josh Jackson.
It's a good pick. They could definitely need all the help they can get out there on the outside.
All right. So coming up next, the Tennessee Titans. With the Titans, I think it's two positions on the defense side of the ball they need to address. I feel like the DBs back there, they're pretty decent. They want to draft a DB, but it comes down to an edge rusher and a middle linebacker. And I feel like if Rashaan Evans is still on the board, they will pick him. But I feel like they're going to take a reach which I don't agree with, but I see why. And I think they take the defense end out of Florida State, Josh Sweat. I think this is a only based off size.
That's pretty high.
Oh,
It is
okay.
high, but it is rumors around based off upside. He had a good combine workout. He showed some things on film, but you cannot endure the injuries. And I feel like Tennessee as an organization who doesn't care about injuries. Look at Brian Orakpo, especially when he had injuries in his early career. Tennessee still brought him over despite the injuries. And I feel like they take another shot at this kid just to see what they can potentially mold him into. But I feel like the Tennessee Titans will reach here, and Josh Sweat will go at that pick.
Okay, that's a bold pick. Real bold pick.
Very bold.
Well, I got the Falcons pick now. Shout out to Matthew Farmer, my boy, or former roomie. But I think Falcons, they got a lot of pieces on that team. Offense took a step back last year, but I think that was more scheme than the players. So I think they continue to stack up that defense. They already got a lot of fast players, a lot of people that run. They're going to move Beasley back to DN and let him shoot off the edge. So they're going to be good on that front. So Beasley coming off the edge, collapsing that pocket, so the quarterback has to come up. And I think you want a guy that can really push the pocket and get those cleanup sacks. And it's two guys that I think the Falcons will like. They like those fast twitch guys inside. You got a Taven Bryan and you got a Maurice Hurst out of Michigan. Hurst is a hell of a player, but I think they go for more of a hybrid guy in Taven Bryan, a guy that can move around a little bit. And I think that's the pick the Falcons make.
Okay. He's really exploded since the draft too. I'm sorry, since the combine as well. Yeah, he did test well. He was a good tester. So we'll see.
All right. So next up, New Orleans Saints. And I feel like offensive side of the ball, they're not worried about anything. As long as you got Drew Brees and those receivers, you're good to go.
No tight end?
I mean, they did all right without a Jimmy Graham type player, but, each his own. But I feel like here, the Saints, past few drafts, they went for a corner. They got a solid D tackle on the inside. And now you need a linebacker. And right here, this kid from Alabama is still here.
Ooh.
And for Sean Evans, I feel like he adds that it factor to their defense. I think they had a pretty decent linebacker core. Matt Tatea, I don't think he's the answer. So here's your upgrade option here. I feel like once you add this kid, they can't take off, especially in that tough division that they are in, when you have to play against Matt Ryan and a Cam Newton and Effie James Winston. So I feel like right here it's a solid pick. It might be the steal of the draft right there if it's that late.
That's great value right there.
Yeah, I think if he's there, that's definitely excellent value. I know Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are probably going to field some calls to get. They might do some wheeling and dealing with someone like the Patriots, especially if Lamar Jackson is already gone. Because I think if he falls this far to that 20 to 25 range, I think the Steelers are definitely going to jump some teams like the Falcons and the Saints and the Titans to try to get their guys. So the Steelers are left with maybe some holes where you could maybe say, I think linebacker is definitely where they wanted to address. You could see maybe wide receiver here, say maybe safety, maybe. I don't think some people are saying Geis to help out there in the backfield if he's here this late, but I'm going to go with the offensive lineman, and I'm going to go with the guy who out of UCLA and Colton Miller play tackle.
That's a good pick. Definitely keep fragile Big Ben upright. So definitely
keep him upright as possible.
Well, I hope draft night plays out like this because I get my top guard coming straight to Jacksonville. Duval. So with the 29th pick in a heartbeat, no hesitation, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Will Hernandez out of UTEP. Enough said. That guy's a mauler. Fournette might get 1,600 yards with the pair of guards we'll have if Hernandez can come to town.
Okay.
So we already got Andrew Norwell. That's a top 5 offensive guard in the NFL.
He's a good guard.
top 10 center. So we'd have one of the best interior O line in the NFL if we were able to get a guy like Will Hernandez. So we that's the pick.
All right.
Easy enough.
Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of people say they had a solid offseason, but I don't think you give fully guaranteed money to a Kirk Cousins. But at this pick, I don't really know where they'll lean to. I'm just going to think about the best defensive coordinator Cincinnati Bengals ever had, Mike Zimmer. I know how he likes his D tackles and his defensive linemen. So I feel like if this kid can drop to the Minnesota Vikings, do not be surprised. I know they have a good rotation already, but Daron Payne right here makes a lot of sense.
Please no.
A kid who can just sit back and learn from other veterans that they already have on the team, especially D linemen. I feel like you give this kid less pressure, more time to work on his craft, and he can mold into something special out there in Minnesota, given the right circumstances. So right here, I go Daron Payne, and it's going to be pretty solid. Sorry.
Yeah, y'all killing me in the NFC North this year. Y'all know that. We got the Bears getting Derwin James. We got the Lions getting Darius Geis. We got the Vikings getting Daron Payne. Give me a break. Oh my God. Give me a break. Moving on to the New England Patriots are now on the clock. To be honest, I don't see the Patriots staying here at 31. I think they're going to use this for some collateral, or someone's going to trade back in, especially if they stay there at 23, which I don't foresee either. I see them jumping up early enough to get Lamar Jackson, and if he falls past that 10 to 12 range, and I think this 31st pick will may end up being a part of that deal as well. But nonetheless, them being here, I think they help out the defensive secondary, and I'm going to go with a kid out of UCF, Mike Hughes.
It's a good pick. That is exactly what I was going to pick. All right.
James did that to me a couple times. So.
All right. Well, with the 32nd pick, Eagles lose out on their guy Hughes. They might look to field some trade offers right now, but if not, they might just sit put and take the best available person on their board. It doesn't exactly fit a need they have right now, but you can never have enough edge rushers and versatile players out there in the linebacker core. And I think they go after a guy who's really been shooting up boards recently out of Boise State and Leighton Vander Esch. I think they use him as a piece in that defense. Got Nick Barnett, him, got Curry and Brandon Graham. So you just got a crazy lineup you can do, and you can do a lot of things in that defense to keep offense on their toes.
Nice. So, start of the second round, we're going with the best team in football, the Cleveland Browns. Won one game over the last 2 years. So right here, it's two guys I'm thinking of right now. Either offense or defense. I think about the Greg Williams defensive team. A lot of physical safeties. I like Ronnie Harrison right here, but I feel like in Cleveland, defense is not really gonna matter. You got to go with playmakers on the offense side of the ball. I go Sony Michel out of Georgia. I feel like you can put him in space. He can definitely help the young quarterback. Say if they do draft for Josh Rosen, you give him. I'm not mistaken. Carlos Hyde is with Cleveland, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry. If Josh Gordon can stay healthy, stay out of trouble. Corey Coleman can stay healthy. That's a lot of weapons. That's a lethal offense. They always had a solid offensive line there. So I feel like you add little small pieces, and they can blossom into something in 2 to 3 years. Maybe once Hugh Jackson is gone. I'm on record saying Hugh Jackson is a good coach, but maybe not the situation. I won't backpedal from that. He may be a better offensive coordinator, but he definitely hasn't got the job done. But you can definitely get the weapons here, whoever the next coach will be.
All right, puts Giants on the clock.
All right, the New York Football Giants on the clock, and they could go a lot of different ways here. Saquon is really going to help them out on the offensive side of the ball. So I think they go defense and a guy that might be looked at as a risk, but Maurice Hurst is still on the board, and I think he's going to go here to the Giants.
That's a good pick right there. All right. Well, the Browns, look at it again. They have another pick, of course. But the Browns got their pick from the Houston, Texas trade from last off season, last draft, I should say. And they already got an edge rusher, they got a running back, they got a quarterback, so they got a hell of a haul right now. And I think they go back to the offensive side of the ball right now, and just so they have Josh Rosen staying on his feet. And I think they take a guy out of Texas and Connor Williams. Put him out there on tackle. Before this up-and-coming year, he was viewed as the best tackle in the draft, but he got hurt, got nicked up, gained a couple pounds. But towards the end of the year, he really started to flash the guy he used to be. And I think the Browns pick him up and hope to maybe not be Joe Thomas's replacement, but a serviceable tackle anyway. Never going to be Joe Thomas, but you got to find a guy as soon as possible. And I think Connor Williams would be that guy for Josh Rosen to start his career.
Okay.
All right. So the Colts are up next, and I feel like this would be a no-brainer if this kid's on the board. Frank Gore, definitely aging, but you're bringing him back just like him. I'm gonna go Nick Chubb here. I feel like a guy that gets him until later in the year, a straight bruiser. I feel like he can be you bring in another veteran with him, let him learn from him. I think this kid is battle tested. I think he falls at 36. I mean, just because of how people view running backs, the second round is always a good time to pick him. So I feel like right here, this is a kid can take the pressure off Andrew Luck, especially all the criticism he's been getting. I think T.Y. Hilton will definitely like this pick. So 36 pick, you go Nick Chubb.
All right, that's the whole mock draft right there, y'all. We're definitely gonna post it on Twitter and on Facebook, just so you can see how right we are when Thursday comes around. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna shoot like Curry with this mock draft. I want y'all to know, like,
shoot, baby, shoot.
All right, I'm gonna just give a quick recap. We had Josh Rosen going first overall, Saquon second to the Giants, third Baker Mayfield to the Jets, fourth Bradley Chubb to the Browns, fifth you got your next quarterback coming off, Josh Allen to the Broncos. Sorry, Barlow. Colts, they get Quentin Nelson, Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Bucks, Derwin James to the Bears, Roquan Smith to the Niners, and to round out the top 10, we got Mike McGlinchey going to the Miami Dolphins. So that's our top 10. You can tweet us about it, tell us how y'all feel about that. Out of our selection, guys, who do you besides the Browns, who do you guys think came away with the best picks in this haul?
Man.
I'm biased to Saquon Barkley. I think he's the best player, arguably in the draft. So I think if you put him in New York, you have Eli Manning, who can be serviceable to great to good at times. OBJ is going to do what OBJ does with his size. Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram. I think the Giants are not a terrible team. They just played terribly last year. So I think if they pick Saquon and they decide to go running back, I think they are huge winners, especially they're in the top 10.
All right, what about you, Fu?
I'm very biased on this, and I do not care. I love safeties, and I feel like if Chicago Bears get a Derwin James, you win. Because if you look at this kid's college tape, he's everywhere on the field. He rushed the passer, play a little linebacker, can move out. He moves out the corner sometimes in the slot. I feel like you have a do-it-all guy that you can put at safety, especially in today's NFL with these tight ends. I mean, I know it's impossible sometimes to stop a Jimmy Graham or a Gronk or a Travis Kelce, and those guys, only select few guys can even go toe-to-toe with them. I feel like you get a full package on the defense end of the ball. A guy who hopefully he can stay healthy. He can definitely make it happen. I feel like that's gonna be the steal at 8. I feel like he's a top 5 talent, but based off needs, he will drop, and whoever team he will drop to. I feel like if Chicago Bears might miss on him, don't be surprised you see him in the Oakland Raiders, the Redskins, or even the Green Bay Packers. So
I'm gonna be extremely biased with my pick. I think the Jaguars had the best pick. If we're able to get Will Hernandez, I don't think it works out, but you know,
that's not that big of a stretch, though. Will Hernandez.
I mean, I don't know.
Will Hernandez is probably going to be there.
We'll see, but outside of the Jaguars, I guess I'll tone down the bias a little bit. I just gotta say, yeah. I mean, honestly, if the Patriots are able to get Harold Landry at 23, I think that really adds another facet to their defense because they already got another solid edge rusher. I forgot the kid out of Arkansas a couple years, I think, ago. But anyway, they would have 2 solid edge rushers. It wouldn't make up for Chandler Jones being gone, but it'd be a nice start basis for Bill Belichick. Out of the first round, which team do you think is still struggling? You weren't very impressed with their pick. I'll start with James.
Oh, you know who I'm gonna pick? The Denver Broncos. I think whoever picks Josh Allen is smoking hella weed. I wonder who
I mean, wait, time out. It is Denver, so
it's legal in Colorado. It is legal.
They need to cut it out. whoever in that front office. I feel like whoever picks Josh Allen is crazy. Yo, going back, looking at his stats in high school. In high school, he didn't complete over 60% of his passes. So what y'all think? In high school, junior college in Wyoming, he can get over 60% completion percentage. What's going to be the difference in the NFL?
I mean, we're pulling up high school stats now. Come on.
Man, he's supposed to be an elite quarterback. At 5,
I mean,
at 5.
You trying to tell me Tom Brady ain't put up better stats in the NFL than he did in high school?
So you said Josh Allen's the next Tom Brady?
Tom Brady was a starter at Michigan.
Did Ben Josh Allen is the next Tom Brady.
I'm just saying you can't grade a guy from his high school.
I'm not even going that far. But Tom Brady was a starter and a scholarship player at Michigan. Josh Allen played at Wyoming. 85% of the people who will watch the draft this weekend can't even find Wyoming on a map.
What conference?
He was at Wyoming.
Who could find Carson Wentz when he was playing? What you talking about?
Oh, so Josh Allen gonna have the same impact as Carson Wentz now?
No, I think Josh Allen is the worst quarterback prospect in a while. But I'm saying you can't knock a guy for some high school stats.
I mean, man, looking at these ESPN analysts, I mean, he's just a white Cam Newton if you go by them.
That's what they want to think. All right. Well, y'all want to say anything else about the draft before we move on?
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals gonna select Lamar Jackson, and we're taking on from there. I'm a finally see a playoff win. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Lewis gonna get out of there.
Since we're putting in team points, don't be surprised if the Green Bay Packers trade into the top 10. We have 12 draft picks, one of the highest numbers in the NFL. Don't be surprised if we trade into the top 10 and get our selection of Derwin James, Minkah Fitzpatrick, or Tremaine Edmonds. Either one of those three, if we get into that 8 to 9 to 10 range, we're just going to have to jump up in that 8, 9, 10 range. Obviously, I don't think the Bears are going to do business with us, but the 9 to 10 range could definitely be possible. And either one of those three guys, if we get one of those three guys, I will consider the draft a home run for us.
All right, I'll do one little tidbit. It's first time in a while I really didn't care about the draft. You know, my team saucy like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we saucy like that.
Anyway, welcome to picking when you make it far in the playoffs, Ben. I know you haven't experienced this in a while.
Hey, Jerry, this ain't about you right now. I'm saying
congratulations.
No one knows what's going to happen in the draft. We take our best shot with these mock drafts. Everyone's going to be excited come 2 nights from now. And if your team makes a bad selection, take it from my past history. Pick the bottle up. It's the only way you're getting past tonight because you're going to be sick. But moving on to the NBA playoffs. Before James talks about the Pelicans, I'm gonna talk about 2 things real quick. I'm a big Damian Lillard fan. I don't like to see him go out like this. Also, but more importantly, Cleveland, I got $50 on you to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So if y'all don't wax the Pacers, I thought it was a cake bet. Yeah, they're gonna make it to the conference finals, but they tricking it up with the Pacers.
Cavs are bad. I won't say the Cavs are bad. They're not, because any team with LeBron James is not bad, but they're not very good.
Yeah. All right. Well, James, what's up, James?
For all the haters out there, I ain't even know he was gonna sweep the Portland Trailblazers like this. But come on, man, think about this. This is great for the future of New Orleans basketball. DeMarcus Cousins, he in rehab, right? Working on their Achilles and all that. To see his team play 4 games. 4. All dubs. And y'all think he not resigning? You think he going to LA or Washington? DeMarcus not leaving Anthony Davis. He can't now.
So he taking a pay cut?
He's not gonna have to take a pay cut.
Mm.
He's not gonna have to. Come on, man. Look,
you have more faith in DeMarcus Cousins than I do.
Look, we can get Solomon Hill's taking up $12 million in cap space. Etuan Moore is taking up 10. They both can kill their ass somewhere else. That's $22 million freed up. And then plus the money he already making, he made like 19 million right now. All together, that's about 40 mil. That's all you need for a max. So we good. We signed some 10-day contract guys. We're gonna be all right. He's gonna sign back. You go to Washington and play with John Wall. You're still not gonna make it out of the East. You go to LA. I mean, he's not that type of guy. But look, man, back to New Orleans. Anthony Davis, he cannot be stopped. I can't wait till they play the Golden State Warriors and make sure y'all defensive player of the year, the guy that Jerry Thomas when he can score 20, 10, and 5, check AD the whole time. Because I don't know if you remember, Jerry, last time Draymond checked Anthony Davis, he put up a nice 34 and 11 average in the series.
That's a mismatch. Why is he gonna check?
No. Is that excuses? So you make
Draymond a forward? What you mean it's a mismatch? Draymond a
defensive player of the year? You making excuses for the defensive player of the year?
Okay.
I ain't never heard him making some excuses for Kawhi.
We're not gonna talk about Kawhi and his situation going on right now.
He come New Orleans.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what is going on with Kawhi?
I don't know what I don't even care to speak on him.
Damn.
Hey,
hey, look, I'm be honest. I just can't wait till I'm a Houston Rocket fan next year. So it is what it is. Team Bron to Houston. You know what I'm saying?
If that happens, I'm not watching no more.
That's wild, bro.
The East is trash.
That's wild.
Is the East gonna be a conference in basketball? They might as well change the playoffs to the top 16, like they already want to do. If he do that,
I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now. LeBron going to the finals right now, but that's gonna be his last time going.
Especially cool, as long as I get my $50.
Ever. Last time going, ever.
Come on, bro. Think about this. Look at the Boston Celtics. They got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and they're doing all this without their top 2 players, Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward. And you still been bringing Al Horford. I mean, look at all the wings they got. They can go small. They can play big a little bit, and they're still going to add another piece. And they got the best coach in the league, period, Brad Stevens. So you add all that, and LeBron aging, he's never going to get somebody on the level of Kyrie again. K-Love is not the strongest number 2. I don't see Bron going back, man. I'm just going to keep enjoying it this year. But he ain't going back, especially if he stay in the East.
We're going to see. Y'all got any other pressing topics y'all want to cover about the NBA or any other sports out there?
Baseball season started. I know, Ben, you don't like the sport, but baseball did kick it off. The Boston Red Sox are very hot right now. So shout out to Boston. Any of those Boston fans we might have following us. Adrian Broner fought to a draw over the weekend. He's Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner. I have nothing else to say. I'm not an Adrian Broner fan. Never have been. The commentator, what's the commentator's last name? Jim should have punched him with the microphone in the back of the head. He tried to snatch the microphone from it. He's not going to. I don't know why. I think Showtime keeps giving them big time money fights because they know he's going to act like an asshole after the fight. Like win or lose, he's just going to say something ridiculous to make himself trend on Twitter.
That's what it's all about, bro. You turn it on Twitter, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This should be the last time AB is the main event. I mean, he doesn't still have it like he used to. That wasn't a draw. Vargas controlled the fight early and still fought toe to toe with him towards the end. That's bullshit. But Giovanni Davis, the future of boxing, I'm not calling him the next Floyd because he's gonna be in his own lane. Man, that dude, he's a beast. I mean, he's gonna be with Floyd promotion wise because he's under his wing. I feel like if you watch, that's the one kid in boxing I can watch and still makes it exciting. Every single time he tells you what he's gonna do, he's gonna play with his opponent for about 2 rounds and then knock his ass out. And that's what he does every single time. And I feel like that kid is special. He's gonna continue to have his belt, and I don't see him taking the L to anybody unless he moves up.
To nobody. Okay.
He's
I'm
going
gonna speak my one little boxing piece. I need the UFC to set up a fight with Stipe Miocic versus whoever either 2 of those heavyweights they got. It's Deontay Wilder or the other guy. I want to see it. Let Stipe fight. Stipe fight.
I think I'm not opposed to that, Ben, but I think the same thing will happen. And I won't say the same effect will happen. What we saw with the Floyd Conor with just the endurance because the boxing match was just simply longer. It was just longer than those guys are used to fighting. But some of that same, especially with the big guys, like somebody gonna have to knock somebody out. Which, if anybody connects, somebody getting knocked out. I mean, Stipe is. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm just saying we would run into some of those same things. But it would be exciting. I would not stand that. The 2 big guys, like I said, we know it's not going 12 rounds. Somebody get knocked out. We know it's not making 12. So it would be something to see.
It'd be a little money maker. I want my boy Stipe to get paid. And Stipe, if you get paid, I need a check, bro. The check. Also, every time we do this, gotta shout out my boys. Shout out LeAngelo Ball. You know, you still out there doing big things. You know, shout out Boss Man LeVar. Just gotta let the people know. Big Baller Brand. Next time I'm on here, I might have a shirt on. So we're gonna see. But y'all got anything else? Hey James, that hairline getting back there, bro. What's up?
So what?
I said that hairline creeping back. You all right?
It's been creeping back.
Okay.
Why come on the podcast looking like Common? Don't say that.
Straight ball.
You come on. You got to put a hat on. You come on looking like Common, bro.
What you say, Hannibal?
Where
your glasses at, Hannibal?
Oh, I don't look like Hannibal.
This getting kind of personal. Really, this getting kind of personal.
James started it. Well, if y'all don't have any closing thoughts, I guess we'll close the podcast. Unless y'all have anything y'all want to say.
I'm glad Meek Mill free.
Yeah, that was good to see.
That's all I gotta say.
But I will comment on that and say we just got to keep the activism up. It's bigger than Meek. I'm glad Meek is out, but it's bigger than Meek. There's some problems with America's justice system, and we got to continue to speak out against injustice, no matter where we see it. Whether it's the guys in the Starbucks in Philly, the young lady down in Alabama, at the Waffle House, or as Meek Mill, we got to continue to speak out against injustice and continue to keep up the fight.
Oh yeah, speaking of Waffle House, shout out to that hero, James Shaw, I believe his name.
Yeah, that kid, that guy was awesome.
That's if you want a role model, it's guys like that.
Yeah.
So thanks for people like that being in the world. It really offsets the other terrible people we got, but people like that give us a lot of hope and a lot of things to aspire for in the future. So thank y'all to people like that for sure. But this has been Thompson. I'm signing off. We'll see y'all draft night.
It's your boy Jay Fair. Go Bengals.
And it's your boy Uncle Jerry. Go Pack Go. Derwin James, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Tremaine Edmonds. Let's go.
All right, well, y'all, thanks for checking out the podcast. We'll catch y'all a couple weeks from now.